Welcome to this video in which I'm going to be talking about the Wharton MBA applications for 2020-21, which is if you're looking at applying this year for an intake in fall 2021. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a lot of actionable tips. I'm going to be giving you some frameworks of how you should be writing the essays. So make sure that you stay till the end of this video to ensure you get all of it. So let's take the first thing up front. What is Wharton famous for? Now, we all know it's an Ivy League school. It's been there for like years. It's got a very strong brand name. If you think about it, they say HWS, right? HSW, Harvard, Stanford, and Wharton, right? So it's taken in the same breath as Harvard and Stanford. So it has got the legacy. One thing about the US MBA programs, and specifically Wharton, you will realize is they have a lot of quantitative rigor. I think this comes from a very, this thing of, data-driven things, like there has to be a quantitative rigor. And that's, I think, true for many companies in the US, right? The way they function, large companies, right? It's always been about having very strong data, having very strong financials, having very strong, reasons for why they are doing it. So that's one big thing about the program. People may realize once they go there, that your Excel skills need a lot of upgrade. Okay. The second thing is, even among the top schools, though there is diversity, I think one thing that really stands out in Wharton's favor is the fact that it's always had this global focus. In fact, you have an option to take an international, programs as well. They are global exchange programs. They encourage field tours, so they want you to go to at least maybe one more country so that you get a sense of how things are. And your class mix itself will be fairly diverse, right? So that's another USP that they have. The other thing they have is, though they have majors, so you still have a major, correct? Like one thing that you specialize. I think there is a lot of flexibility in the electives that they offer. So that way you get a very, because it is with the University of Pennsylvania, I think you can get a lot more courses. You have access to a lot more resources, a lot more professors. So I think that is definitely a huge plus for Wharton. Now let's look at what are the application essays. So they have essentially two essays that you need to be writing. The first essay is, what do you hope to gain professionally from the Wharton MBA? 500 words, right? Now think about it. What do you hope to gain is not the answer. You need to set a context. Let me give you an analogy. Let us say if you are using an analogy of saying going to a B school is a vehicle that is going to get me to my destination, correct? So what are the important things that we need to talk about? We need to talk about A, where we are, B, where we want to go. If we do not mention these two, it does not matter how we get there, right? So the fact that what you will gain professionally, right? And the word professionally is also important because this is the stuff that you will learn in order to become something. So the first thing that you need to do is give a synopsis of what your career has been. Again, this is a classic career goals essay. In any career goals essay, make sure when you are giving a synopsis of who you are, don't try to repeat what you have written in your application, what you have written in your resume. More than that, it's important for you to elaborate the first paragraph, which gives them a sense of progression, correct? How you've been able to progress in your career. That I think is very key. Once you have done that, you should be able to transition saying, what is it that I see ahead? What is it that I want? Correct? What is it that I hope to achieve post my MBA? You have to be very specific in terms of what role, what industry, you have to have that clarity. Once you have done that, you need to say, well, how now Wharton is going to be the best place for me to meet my career objectives. Correct? That's where you end up answering this question. But as I said, you can't really answer the question how you're going to gain professionally without telling the first two parts. Correct? Total of 500 words. Couple of things over here. So the first thing is going to be when you're writing about what you have done and where you want to go, you can maybe keep it to about 200 words. Again, as far as word limits are concerned, I'm not very rigid. I always feel that a person writing is the best judge, right? So just a note over there, which is Crackfable. You have been consuming content on YouTube. We also have an admission services division where we have mentors from top schools, including people who have gone to Wharton. So we believe that the best people who can tell you how to get there are people who have already gone there. So a lot of our mentors have been with us for many years, and they've been really passionate about helping really deserving candidates put in their best application. If that sounds interesting, go ahead. I have a link below in the description where if you've taken the GMAT, if you're considering Wharton, we can have a look at your application and maybe give you some advice on how Wharton would look at you. What are the things that you need to perhaps fix? So go ahead and let us know. Coming back to the essay, so that is where your 300 words have to be focused. A, don't tell Wharton what they already know about themselves. I think this is a mistake that most people do, right? There's Wharton has this center. I hope to gain from the operations club. I hope to gain from the consulting club. Sure, you know what? Not just you, but anyone who's applying to Wharton this year is going to be gaining from those clubs. What will you gain which will help you, going back to the second para, meet your career goals? If you are not able to tie that, this paragraph will not really flow. What Wharton has to offer is there on the website, correct? In fact, Crackfable has also given a lot of detail we have, so make sure you check out the Crackfable website as well. But the Wharton essay or the Wharton school website will give you a lot of takeaways. But what does it mean for you? I think that's the key. That's where your 300 words have to go in, correct? So 100, 300, or you can say 250, it depends on how you want to arrange it. Essay number 2. Taking into consideration your background, personal, professional, and or academic, right? How do you plan to make specific, meaningful contributions to the Wharton community? 400 words. See, here is where you are trying to tell how you will pitch, how will you help the school. So I just want to give you an analogy. So I was reading about it somewhere that Leonardo da Vinci had a resume. It wasn't really a resume, but he wrote to the king of Italy at that time. And he said, how can I help you? Right? So he said, look, I can build castles for you. I can build palaces for you. Because I happen to be an architect. This is what I've done, so I can help you. He said, by the way, I can also build missiles for you. So if an enemy comes, I can also help you attack that enemy because I've got knowledge of physics, right? You know how he was. But I can also make a beautiful portrait of your majesty so that you can proudly display it. So what he was doing is, instead of telling what he has, he was putting it in a very interesting way. So I thought that was a very interesting analogy, because that's the same thing that you need to do. You don't need to tell what you have achieved. You need to tell how you can contribute, and that's what they are saying. Specific, meaningful contributions. So if you're going to say that I'm going to be part of, let's say, a particular club, right? You need to tell me, for example, you say they have a very good concentration on healthcare, correct? So now you say, I want to be part of the healthcare club, and I'm going to be using my network to bring so-and-so speakers. I already know the founders of this company, or I know this particular startup, or something that tells them that, look, this guy is the expert who's going to help us actually run these student-run bodies. Because one thing you ought to understand about the US MBA experience is a lot of it has to be about you tailoring the experience. And I had one of our mentors, Aruna Prabhakaran. She's a Wharton graduate herself. And she told me a very interesting thing. She said, Arun, it's like walking through an orchard with all these fruit-bearing trees. And you don't know what you want to make, but you look at all these kind of fruits and you get tempted. I'll plug this, I'll plug that, and before you realize your basket is overflowing. So you need to have some sense of how you're going to be utilizing the resources, how you will contribute. That's what the essay 1 and essay 2 are really looking at, right? Do you have that plan in mind? Which is why I would say, since you have 400 words, I would say pick 2 examples. I think more than 2 would be this. You can play it with a third one. I'm not very sure how it will play out in the words, but talk very specific. For example, you are a guy who's come with supply chain management experience, right? Think of all the possible things that you can contribute, all the possible things that you can do. If you are a sports enthusiast, if you are someone who likes the outdoors, if you are someone who's into yoga, whatever personal things that you want to help the class with, put that, tell what you have done, tell how you will help, convince them that you coming into campus will help them run all those student run. As I said, this is something that the colleges are going to hope that the students are going to be able to, bring that enthusiasm, right? So you will not go to a B school and say, oh, who's the guy who's handling this particular thing? Most of it, they are student volunteers. So part of your MBA experience is not just the theory. The part of the MBA experience is you also getting real world skills by running these, clubs and associations, right? What does it take for me to bring a speaker? What does it take for me to get, someone who can come in to recruit? Those are the kind of skills that you actually bring, right? So make sure you talk about that. Well, with that, we have just the required essay for reapplicants. So basically, it's a 250-word essay in case you are a reapplicant. And just one thing that I have over here is don't write things that you have already mentioned. Make sure you focus those entire 250 words on telling what you have done from the last time you applied. How have you grown as a person? So the entire focus should be on the delta. What was not there, what is there now. Then you also have an optional essay, unexplained gaps in work experience, choice of recommenders, inconsistent or questionable academic performance. Any such questions you have, as I said, you can reach out to us. We can help you in this matter. So with that, we have come to an end. I hope you like this video. If so, please make sure you like this video. That will give us a lot of encouragement to create more content. Go ahead and let us know in the comment sections if you have any questions. We'll make sure we personally answer every question that you have. More importantly, we have essay analysis for almost all the top schools. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out the playlist that we have over here. Thank you and all the best with your applications.